Welcome to another Rook Endgame lesson, and we start again by looking at this position where the king is cut off by two files from pawn on d4, and white is the side which wins the game without any troubles because they have some mating themes here. So we first start by playing king c4, and again king moves just shouldn't be even considered. We should always consider rook checks. Now king d5, rook d8, and now the point is, if let's say we can make progress, right, like king e4, king c4, we shouldn't really consider that because we just go back, nothing is done. We can play king c6, and the idea is that after rook d4, rook a1 is a checkmate in two moves. So that's why white are winning. So not enough space for the rook. King d7, rook has to go somewhere. Rook went to c2, and after g5 white wins the game. But basically this pawn is unstoppable. Let's say just this, try to stop this pawn, check, king d8, this, and then let's say this. That is simple. Let's say even rook e1 or rook d1 or rook b4, and basically what happens is your favorite Lucena position, check, we go king d6, then this, king c6, rook c1, king d5, rook d1, rook d4, we reach the bridge and we win the game. Let's move to the next position. This is the second position, and here white is winning again, but they need to demonstrate good winning technique. So it's actually black to move first. They play rook a8, cutting the king of a file, not allowing this king a4 move, but we still play rook c6. Now we're threatening b5, rook goes back, and now we play rook a6. We're making sure our king goes to a4 next move, kinda making a space for our king d5, king a4, the only winning move, and now king c4. So this pawn is threatened to be taken. We play rook c6 check, again cutting the king off, king d5, and now b5, making sure this rook is stable. Rook a8 check, king b4, rook b8. Look at the starting position here, and you see that we advanced basically at 1 here. So pawn was here, rook was on c5, now pawn on b5, rook on c6. So next rook c7, and now we're trying basically to advance even more. King d6, and we basically go the same way. In the starting position we went rook c6, rook a6, and now we go rook c7, rook a7, setting up this king a5 maneuver, king d5, king a5, king c5, rook c7. You see, it's all the same, step by step, slowly but surely we're outplaying our opponent. King d6, b6. From b4, rook c5, we reached b6, rook c7 setup. Now rook a8, king b5, and after rook a1 we're reaching famous Lucena position. After rook h7, basically white are winning. Let's just say rook b1, this, king c6, check, cut the king off, and then b7, and basically white wins the game because this pawn will be promoted. Rook h7, king c6, check, and after king a7, rook a1, rook a6, we're setting up this b8 next move, and white wins the game. Let's move to position number 3. This is the third position, and again a perfect cut along one rank from the pawn. So basically in the last example we had pawn on b4 and then rook on c5, with knight's pawn, and here with bishop's pawn on the 4th rank, it's winning again for white pieces. So but here we don't go for this maneuver. So rook b8, we actually go for rook h5. We cut the king off, this rank, king f4, c5. Again, if king tries to chase the rook, we'll just play rook d5 and then continue with our setup. Rook c8, king c4, king e4, rook h6, king f5, c6, and basically black can just resign because let's analyze a few moves. Let's say rook d8, king b5, king d5, c7, rook c8, king b6, king goes to b7, and white wins the game. Let's go to the next position, the 4th position, and now the pawn is not on the 4th rank but on the 3rd or 2nd, and that's where black can actually draw. And first we start by playing rook a8. Now again white tried to play this d4, and again you remember in previous examples it was easy to set up it, But here, actually, after move like king g3 and then rook a3, or let's say in starting position rook a8, king c3, there's actually rook a3. We'll see why this is a draw, and now basically it stops the progress because king has to go back. Otherwise, you know, they will lose the rook. So king g3, rook h5, and now king g4, rook goes to the center, and now we cut the king of the third rank. The king can go forward, and here if d5 is played, well, let's say in this position we'll also analyze move like a rook h7, king f4, rook e7, king f5, king d3, and actually after king f6 we reach a theoretical draw position. Also, white can try rook h6, but again we will do this rook a3, and after rook 6, king f4, it's a draw again. So here king g4, attacking the rook, that's how it started. Rook a8, thus king g3, king g4, rook a3, we got the king of the third rank. Now d5, king f4, rook e8, and as you can see now this king is 2 squares away from this pawn, and now we set up rook a5 idea, and basically this pawn is now taken no matter what, because if d6, rook d5, you know, black take the pawn, and if rook d8, king f5, you know, this pawn cannot be saved because of d6, this rook d6, black take the pawn and make a draw. Let's move on to the 5th position of this episode. Alright, the 5th position, and this is very interesting. So if in this position it's black to move, they actually make a draw. But let's say if white start, they win by first playing rook b6. The idea is basically to prevent rook b8 from happening, and now they're winning. King b4, this c5, king d5, and that's what we saw in previous example. This rook b6, and white wins the game. Basically, let's just analyze it really quick. This e6, this rook e7, and you know, white end up winning the game because basically the king has cut 2 files, and this pawn will be easily promoted. And here in the starting position, rook b8 is played, and now after rook g6, rook b7, c5, king d5, we take the pawn and easily draw the game. Let's move to the final position of this episode. Alright, final position, and again king is cut 1 file from the pawn, but black can make a draw by dragging this rook to the long side and play rook a8. And now, you know, white has to either suffer from long side checks or just, you know, quickly accept the draw. Rook c5, again, no other moves really help. Let's say king d4, rook a4, king f5, rook a4, rook a5, king f6, rook a6, king f7, rook returns back, you know, attacking this e4 pawn, and, you know, this cannot be protected because basically black take this pawn. Let's say after rook a8, rook f7 is played, then, you know, long side checks, king d4, this, rook a5, this, rook a6, and after king b4, rook a5, you know, black will take the pawn again. You know, that's why rook c5 is one of the best, you know, ideas here, basically to prevent some sort of long side checks here. But we play rook d8, you know, we got this king of d file, rook d5, we return back, king d4, king f4, and now basically we're threatening rook a4, rook e4 idea. So rook f5, king g4, and now it's a draw because basically white either has to suffer from this a4, a3, a5 checks, or allow this king to go back. Let's say this, king f4, and now let's say some rook c4 move, there is rook d8, and the rook d5 idea basically prevented from this, there is rook a4, and you know, we grab the pawn and make a draw. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments your feedback if you're enjoying this endgame series. I mean, I'm learning a lot, probably you're learning a lot as well. Again, see you next week. Bye bye.